So I was completely and utterly overwhelmed when I was asked to go on stage yesterday at Tortworth Castle in recognition for being the top sponsor in the UK. And I was given this bag, and inside there, this box, and inside there was this box, which had this beautiful Swarovski necklace in, absolutely gorgeous. And I don't do the sponsoring for these gifts. I didn't even expect it. I didn't even know that I was going to be pulled up on stage in recognition for that. I do it for the passion of sponsoring people into the business. But I have had so many people come up to me or message me saying, how did you introduce 9 people to the business in June and 17 people to the business in July? And in July, I actually went away for 2 weeks. So I wasn't even engaged in anything because I turned my phone off. So I actually did that in 2 weeks. So I wanted to basically have one place to answer that question. So the first thing that I do is I get clear. I'm shouting because my washing machine's on. I don't know if you can hear it. The first thing I do is I get clear on what I actually want. When I first started this business, my business 4 years ago, I was severely depressed. I had enormous anxiety. I lived in hospital with my daughter who had a brain hemorrhage, which basically had meant that my ophthalmology career had to end and I was on benefits and my life was not where I wanted it to be. So when I was introduced to the business concept of network marketing and starting my own sort of like online franchise, if you like, I was given what I saw as an open door to change my life. Now, I've been building this business for 4 years and not one single person has presented to me or offered me a better opportunity. Not one single person. And you might be watching this and you might already have the best life. You might have different income streams coming in. You might have your job. You might have 3 businesses. You might have rentals. You might have written a book. You might have loads of income streams and you might have loads of free time. And do you know, that's fantastic. That you're winning at life, in my opinion, if that's you. But most people don't. I didn't. And most people don't have that. Most people have to either choose to do a job to get paid and they sacrifice having time, or they have lots of time because they're a stay-at-home parent or they work part-time, but they've sacrificed having an income. So most people don't get the best of both worlds. I certainly didn't. So when I was first presented this opportunity, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my answer. This is a part-time online thing that I can do. I can learn from scratch and I can create a corporate style monthly income. I can create a £30,000 a month paycheck for me. And so that's why I started this business. And what I quickly realized was I'm not alone. There are a lot of people out there that don't have the best of both worlds and that aren't even aware that there's a solution to their problems. So the reason why I believe that sponsoring people is a strength of mine is because I'm aware that there are people out there with a need for this business. So I know that there's a massive marketplace demand. Not every single person has a need to have time and money. They have it already. And not every single person is willing to work to make that a reality in their life. And I get that. If you take all those people aside, the people that don't need it, the people that don't want it, you're still left with probably about 5 billion people. You're still left with quite a lot of people. So the marketplace demand for what we have is ginormous. So I got really clear on what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was basically introduce as many people as possible to the concept of this. Whether they choose to do it or not is their choice. Whether they choose to sign up and have an ID number for a short period of time, fine. If they have an ID number and they want to grow a business that pays them £500 a month, fine. Whether they want to have an ID number and they want to earn £5,000 a month, fine. And if they want an ID number and they want to earn £30,000 a month upwards, totally fine with me. It is not my job to decide whether they should have an ID number with this business and what they should do with it. That's not my job. My job, the way I see it, is to meet people, find out a little bit about them, find out about the things they want in life. And if it becomes apparent to me that Arbonne could be their solution, I'm going to tell them about it. What they do with that information is up to them. I'm going to tell them about it. And that's what I do. That is my job. I get up in the morning and I'm like, who can I talk to today that potentially needs this solution in their life. So my top tip number one is get really clear on what you want. If what you want is just to promote or just for yourself to make money, that's about you and that's not about other people. Now, you're going to have a hard time talking to people when it's about you, because they're going to feel that. They're going to feel that energy. You all know when you've been to a car salesman, or when you've been to the shops to buy a computer, or gone to book a holiday, you can tell if the sales rep is genuinely trying to help you. They're like, where do you like to go on holiday? Do you want to go on a family resort? Do you want it to be couples only? And they're tailoring it about you. And they're not bothered about the sale. It's all about you, versus the sales assistant where they just want to get their bonus. So they're like, you want to go here, you want to go here. And you can feel it. It's like icky. Oh, there's two different ways to talk to people. One way is it's about you. The other way it's about them. So if you are building this business because it's about you and your promotion and you and your paycheck, you're going to have a tougher time talking to people. I'm not saying that it's not going to work. It will. If you keep going, it's going to be harder. You're going to have more rejection. You're going to be ignored by more people, and you're probably going to get through more no's. But it's a numbers game. You're going to find the yeses there somewhere. It's just going to be a tougher slog. But if you genuinely are all about other people, and genuinely you want to talk to 10 people, find out a bit about them, see the red flags where they need more money, they need more time, they need an improvement on their health, you can talk to 10 people about Arbonne, and one of them might be like, do you know what? Yes. And you're going to be able to help them start their business. So it is a numbers game, but also it's about that energy. Is it about you, or is it about other people? People will pick up on that. They'll feel that. So the other thing that I do is I make sure that I do this business part-time. And the reason why, because I do have more time to do this business, but I want to teach people how, I want to be like Alan Sugar, not like Alan Sugar, but when you go on The Apprentice, it's about starting a business and creating this this profit system. It's about, you come to the table with an idea that starts off small, but then is massive. So I want to be able to teach people to start this tiny little business that over 12 months is going to be a gigantic business. It's going to be heaving with like 100 regular ordering clients and customers. It's going to be heaving with 100 plus business partners, and it's turning over this profit system 24/7. Yes, that starts off small. I want to teach people how to grow it. And I want to teach them how to do it around their full-time job, around parenting, around looking after their own parents, around doing whatever it is that they do. I can't teach somebody how to do this part-time if I don't do it part-time. So that's why I don't do it full-time. So what I do is I work 5 days a week. That's my choice, because I can relate to people then when I'm like, well, if you've only got 5 days to get this done, I know how you feel, because that's what I do. So 5 days a week, and I open up my diary and I carve out 1 hour a day over the 5 days to get my business moving. So what I do when I sit down for that 1 hour is I have a tick sheet. We in our team call this our daily tracker, and it's so simple. An idiot like me could do it, no problem. So on my daily tracker, it takes me 1 hour to do this. So the first thing is add 2 names to my active candidate list. That basically means networking. In any business, we have to network. We have to meet new people. Now, I actually tend to meet new people quite a lot through online parties. I've got people in my team that do it in networking events. They meet people through Facebook groups, as do I. They go to cold market events. There are so many different ways to meet new people. You can go and join a new gym every week and meet new people. It doesn't matter how you do it, but I make sure I make 2 new friends a day when I'm working. So I'm networking. So once I've done that, I tick. The next thing on my list is to book 2 appointments to tell somebody the Arbonne story. Now, the Arbonne story is tailored for them. So I don't know what the story is going to be until I know a bit about them. And it might be tailored around the products. It might be tailored around skincare. It might be tailored around nutrition. It might be the business presentation. I tailor it around them. But I make sure that every day that I'm working, I book 2 appointments to share the Arbonne story. The next thing that I do is I follow up with at least 2 people. I tend to sometimes do a little bit more follow-up than that, but I make sure I'm following up with people that I've spoken to, people that I've got products that I've given to them to try at home for a couple of days, and just check how they're getting on with things. The next thing that I do is I go onto the source for 5 minutes to do a bit of learning. That's like Google for us. So I go onto the source and make sure I'm up to date with anything new that's coming out, anything's on back order, and I'm all up to speed. The next thing I do is I track my QV. So I write down my QV. Then I read one chapter of a book. Then I do my affirmations, which is my Jerry Rosenthal gold card, shout them out 20 times. And then I listen to an audio. And that is basically my 1 hour of prep work for my business done. So I do that 5 days a week, and I tend to get that done in the morning. So that is my getting ready, if you like. That takes me 5 hours a week to get my business ready, rocking and rolling. Now, none of that is income producing activity, but it's still what I need to get the business jiggling, if you like. So then the other thing on my tracker, so the middle part of my tracker says this: Monday night team training online. Yes, I can tick that off every Monday night. Do 3 one-to-ones, and that can be either in person, on the phone, or using Zoom. Do 2 product exposures, and that can be samples or gold bags, and then do 1 group event. Now, I tend to do 1 online party a week, and the main reason I do that is to expand my network. I don't always get mass amounts of orders from my online parties. Even when I get 0 orders, I still consider them a success because it expands my network every single week. Every single week, I tend to meet 10 or 20 new people that are in the online party, people that the host has added in, new conversations, people that win a couple of fizz sticks in the post, people that I can then follow up with. So online parties to me expand my network massively, irrelevant as to whether it creates any sales through the online party. So I do that. And then also on my tracker, the bottom part says attend a DA, which I do that once a week, gratitude list, meditation, exercise, and visualization. And then there's space at the bottom here for 30 people's names, who 30 eyeballs, pairs of eyeballs that have had the Arbonne story told to them, whether that's the products or the business, people that have had the Arbonne story told to them. So I write all their names down at the bottom so that I can keep in touch and follow up. If they've got a gold bag, I'll put gold bag. If that's samples, I'll put samples. If they've been to a DA with me, and I'll just write that down next to them. And then on the back, all the new friends that I make, I'll add them on there as well as my active candidate list, just so that I know who I'm reaching out to, which month it is that I'm doing, and I'll keep them all together. So that is the square in me. That is the admin side of me. So that keeps my business constantly working. That is like the clogs that turn, and it keeps my business duplicable. My team is ginormous now, as I know for many of us that are in the same situation. We want to make sure that our business is duplicable. So everybody knows we do our tracker, and I know that if somebody is 30 people away from me, we're doing the tracker together. They're doing the tracker, I'm doing the tracker, we're doing exactly the same thing. So it keeps it really simple. Now, I speak to quite a lot of people about this business, and I genuinely believe it is a numbers game. So people say to me, how did you sponsor? Like, how do you sponsor 20 people in a month? Not every single person that I speak to says yes to this business. I have to speak to 10 people for one of them to join. That's my numbers, 10 people for one to join. So when I sponsor 20 people in a month, I've spoke to 200 people. Now, they're not all one-to-ones. Many, I do one-to-ones, but a lot of them, I'll do a live on like a private group that I have, and you can have like 30 people watching it at once, asking questions, and you're answering the questions. So I've had 30 new eyeballs engaging with me in the comments, asking questions, watching me present the DA in a live. So I accept that it's a numbers game, and I try to leverage where possible. So I do one-to-ones, and I do online parties, but I mostly try to leverage where possible. So every week I do an online party that takes 1 hour, and that's to expand my network. Every week within our team, we have a live DA in our Hello Future friends and family group. Every week we have a healthy happy hour that is presented by a health coach that I've always got prospects on that. And if I'm not doing the live, I tend to be on it in the comments, chatting to them, so it's really engaging. And every week we have a success stories interview, which again, I add prospects in. So they've always got something every night of the week, Monday to Friday, there's something going on that they can get involved with. So if I'm like, right, tonight, what are you doing? Oh, I'm busy. Okay, what are you doing tomorrow night? Oh, I'm busy. What are you doing Wednesday night? Oh, I'm free. Brilliant. This is what we're going to do at 8 o'clock till 8:30. This page, you're going to be on live. I'm going to be on live with you. We'll be able to chat in the comments while the live is happening. So I leverage massively, and it is a numbers game. So if I sponsor 20 people in 1 month, it's because I've got 200 new eyeballs on the Arbonne story. So please don't think that last month I sponsored 17 people and I only spoke to 17 people. I probably spoke to 170 people, but I've managed to leverage massively. One-to-one coffee dates, yes, I do. Zoom one-to-ones, yes, I do. But where possible, I will leverage on a mass like huge level. So I hope that that's been helpful. I use the tracker to get the foundations and the cogs turning in my business, and then I will share the Arbonne story with lots and lots and lots and lots of eyeballs, as many as I physically possibly can do. And I keep my network list growing. I've constantly got new friends, mostly through my online parties, hosts adding their friends and doing that. So I hope that that was useful. Obviously, if anyone has any questions, of course, I'll answer them. But I'm hoping that that has pretty much answered everything. Lots of follow-up. Some people join straight away when they've seen the Arbonne story. Some people, it takes them a year. As long as you keep that follow-up going and you keep that friendship alive, and they know that you're not just interested in them to help your business, you're genuinely interested in them because you care about them, that follow-up will naturally happen anyway. You grow lots of friendships in this business. And if they don't join your business, but they trust you and they like you and they know that you're not after them as a number, they will refer people to you. They'll say, do you know what, Danny, I'm going to send a couple of people your way that I think would love the 30 days, or I think would love the skincare. You're so good. I want you to help them. And you're like, great, thank you. So that's it. Any questions, feel free to ask, and good luck on your sponsoring 20 every month.